At 7.
Good morning, Dwight. Or good morning, good evening, Dwight. I'm already jumping ahead.
Oh boy. Holiday weekend coming up, I have a feeling.
Yes, for some.
All right, it is 7 o'clock and everybody is with us, which is good to see for our special meeting of June 29th for the Planning Advisory Committee of the Town of St. Andrews. We have this one item of special business on our agenda this evening, so I'm going to look for somebody to move the adoption of that agenda.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Councillor Heenan and seconded, I think, Ms. Stewart. If you're ready for the question, all those in favor of adopting the agenda as presented signify by raising your hand.
Hi, your
Okay,
worship.
all hands up. That is good. Does anybody have any conflict of interest to declare on this matter that's coming before us? Okay, if not, then we're going to the item, which is asking our opinion on a textual amendment to section 3.33 for licensed premises. There's a good bit of verbiage attached to this, which I'm sure you had a chance to read and digest, but the matter itself seems to be fairly simple. It's looking for an amendment in order to reduce the amount of time that council would take in order to approve a particular kind of licensing for premises. And Mr. Gopin, our planner, who prepared the report that you have in your package, is on vacation, I understand, but Mr. Knopper is prepared to step into the breach and offer some comments, so I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm just going to share my screen to the presentation that I have. Just bear with me for a second. From the beginning. So thank you, PAC, for meeting us tonight on the special meeting for obtaining views on the amendment Z2203 to the zoning bylaw, Z2201, specifically on section 3.332, licensed premises. Within the zoning bylaw, section 3.33 is the section that talks about licensed premises, and within that, it's the only liquor license that is regulated by the town of St. Andrews under the zoning bylaw. There are a series of other licenses, including special facility, dining room license, as well as other cultural licenses that they can get, and special event licenses. So the town council at the June 20th regular council meeting was approached by the Char and Chowder with a presentation to amend the zoning bylaw in regards to section 2 specifically of section 3.33. Under their business model, they are actually having a serving pick up windows versus direct serving to the table. So within that process, lounge license is the preferred option under public safety. Last year, they were actually able to operate under a temporary special facility license because they were more of an open air restaurant. And within that, with the new facility that they have, they actually were rescinded that license because they no longer qualified for it, and the lounge license was the preferred option under public safety. And normally within the process as it is written now, it would actually need a zoning bylaw amendment, which would cost $1,000 for the process, as well as 3 readings of council, a public hearing of objections, and views of PAC. And in that process, it's not actually guaranteed that if you go through it, that it is approved. Because so many different licenses operate within the town, it comes to a question as to why this particular license was regulated. Now, at the time when this was put in place, the council felt that they didn't want to see a proliferation of late night watering holes. But based on the discussions with those proponents, and in particular, there are other potential restaurants out there that would like a license like this, terms and conditions can still be set by council. council. So the amendment was actually moved to first reading and to obtain views of the PAC. Under the municipal plan, so section 2.5.2, economic policies, its council shall seek to provide an economic climate conducive to the investment and growth of year-round employment opportunities within St. Andrews. So there are two businesses right now, the Red Herring and the Kennedy, that have lounge licenses and that have been grandfathered through the process over the last 20 or so years. There have been a few other restaurants that have approached the town, but are no longer in existence for this. And this council is looking at it as this is a position of how can they encourage more development and more options within the community for a late night atmosphere without detrimentally affecting the downtown core. And that's where this is being brought forward for your views. So the recommendation is that the Planning Advisory Committee of the Town of St. Andrews, under Section 110 of the Community Planning Act, provides the following views to the text amendment Z2203 to the Town of St. Andrews zoning bylaws Z2201 for Section 3.332 of licensed premises. And I will stop sharing.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Mr. Knopper on the basis of that presentation? No? Okay. Well, I'm just fumbling through my pages here to find the actual new text.
Last page or close to it.
Oh,
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Well, as far as views are concerned, I'm just going to go through our group person by person and see if there are any particular comments or variations to be made. So, Mr. Simmons, you're at the top right of my screen, so I'm going to start
Hey.
with you.
Not really any comments. I was just always wondering why, even in the zoning bylaws, it changed to specifically a rezoning, which we all know is a headache. I've been in front of PAC lots of times. It's switching the role to council, but we always said, Chris, why is it council should have been dealing with this the whole time, setting its recommendations, whatever it needs to do. This is the proper thing. Get it out of PAC. Let them set terms and conditions. And I think this is a really good move. So,
Okay.
Yep.
Councillor Heenan.
Yes, Mr. Chair. As you know, being on council, I'm privy to this, and we've gone through this, as Mr. Knopper said 2 weeks ago. I had absolutely no problem with it at all. I feel the folks have been like the government, they had the wrong liquor license last year, and that's fallen on their lap. And I don't think it's really fair that they be penalized. So I have absolutely no problem with this, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Mr. Cross.
No issues from my end. I think for years it should be the council that should be making the terms and recommendations for these kind of licenses. So I have no issue with it whatsoever.
Ms. Stewart.
well, as a former PAC member, I agree. It should not be in the hands of the PAC. So I approve the text amendment, or approve. I support. How's that?
And Mr. Ingles.
I have no issue with this either. I'm just wondering, is there a way that we can throw this back to council to say for them to look after as a housekeeping rule, as Kevin and
Well,
as everyone is.
that is what this is designed to do.
This is okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Excellent.
Okay. Well, with all of that being said, least said, soonest mended. So the motion before us would be the following views. Well, the views are simply that the PAC fully supports the intention of council in this matter.
Agreed.
That's basically what it is. So is someone prepared to move that? Mr. Simmons? And a seconder, please.
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Chair. Okay. Any, sorry, Ms. Stewart, we keep beating you up.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's fine. It's summer.
I would never win at
Um,
Jeopardy. I'm not quick enough on the buzzer.
Bad connection.
If there is no further discussion, if you're ready for the question, all those in favor of the motion signify by raising your hand.
Aye.
All hands are up, so it is unanimously carried. And I thank you for that. And there's no other business to come before us this evening. So if nobody has anything that they want to bring up urgently, I will declare this meeting at an end at 7:10 PM.
Well, good
There
night,
we have it.
everyone. Happy